Welcome, welcome, Spirit Bus fam. Here we are. Buckle up. Route 52. It's straight ahead.
Your spiritual beings having a human experience.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for having this earth experience. Same time as me. Out of all of the timelines, out of all of them, here we are. Okay. Check in with yourself. Check in before we get started. If you're sitting down, make sure you're comfortable. Get a glass of water. If you're up multitasking, try to slow down. Maybe only 2 things at once, this audio and one task. Some mindful, present multitasking, if you will. Since we met last time, there has been a lot of changes in the ether. For those of you that feel it, that speak this language, you may have felt some lows, some sads, some existential dread. Others may have had an energy that fueled some major change, and now you're working on keeping it up. What is in the air, though, is change. Change, well, it's inevitable. No matter what we do, change will come. I have this favorite place to watch sunrises. My sister and I, we call it Goose Beach. The geese be honkin'. Every season I go there and the beach looks different. The water level has changed. Now, most of the changes are directly from Mother Earth herself. Others, like you can tell that they're a result of, man moving around some rocks here, different changes there, etc. This year, there was a beautiful, beautiful small waterfall. I had no idea how the formation was made, but I started to think about how we evolve. Beep, beep. Exit Evolve Boulevard to the right. Just like Goose Beach, we change and we evolve every year. Sometimes the evolution of ourselves is slight, and other times it is so enormous. But it happens even when we're not trying to evolve. We are constantly picking up on new ideas, constructs, lots of little things around us. Our electrical being is so advanced that we pick up on what is around us so often that we're not even noticing it consciously. A multi-million, probably $1 billion is spent yearly, or I don't know, maybe monthly, knowing just that. Advertisements that know even when we're focusing on the main act, there's these subtle implanted messages are going to be uploaded. And there are some of us that are starting to see the patterns. We're starting to see the items in the background, the strategic sign in the distance, the specialized license plates, the dialogue that has agendas. We see that we are bombarded by advertisement. Now, I'm not going to go into the dark rabbit holes of the agendas behind all of this. Remember, we don't fall into rabbit holes. We peer in, we learn, and we walk the fuck around them. Why? Well, because it's never ending. There'll always be a dark rabbit hole to explore. And I'm not suggesting being an ostrich or a rabbit, head in the sand or running around all fearful. Both are not productive. Perhaps we see and we focus on our own evolution and connection with the peeps around us that we trust and that we love. And we start to question, why do we do the things that we do? Have we been subtly or blatantly conditioned? As we veer back onto Route 52, a story from one of my mentors about him. Of course, I will tell the story a little different, which will make sense as we go along. So there was this lady back in, I don't know, maybe the 1920s, a fabulous cook. She made the best meals. And she had learned from her mom to cook the ultimate pork roast. The special tactic was to cut the ends off of each side of the roast before cooking. The ends, they were not used. They were tossed away because they really messed up the taste and the tenderness. So this lady, she passed her knowledge, including her tantalizing pork recipe, to her children. And they all cooked their pork the same way, never altering the recipe, never questioning, just replicating. They then passed down the same recipe to their children. And again, at first, replication. Until one day, one of the children, now an adult, watched a show that demonstrated cooking a pork roast, and to her surprise, they didn't cut the ends off. Judgment was automatic. They know nothing. Ah, my grandma would be laughing at them. Silly people. Another, now adult, saw a similar advertisement and got a little curious and cooked the pork a new way. To her surprise, the meat was so tender. Leaving the ends on, gosh, it really kept the juices in. With excitement, she tried telling her siblings and cousins, but the majority of them, they just scoffed at her. "You're ruining Grandma's recipe," one said. Another now adult got even more curious. Why do we even eat pork? And found out that some people don't. Some people even think it's not safe. Even found out that in the United States, pork is banned in many countries around the world. My cat is meowing, by the way. Found out that the United States pork is banned in other places. Why? Well, due to the ribofamine in the feed, which helps give more muscle masses to the pigs. Well, the other countries don't want the United States' pork because that has been linked to major health problems, such as like Down syndrome and cardiovascular disease. This now adult runs to their siblings and cousins saying, "Don't eat the pork." Scoffed at. The FDA says it's fine. You just don't eat it every single day for every meal. One cousin says that's not true. Tyson, quit using that in the feed. The pork is safe. Head down, the curious one walked away, continued studying the negative impacts of pork, and then passed down that information to their children who no longer eat pork. One now adult cooks their pork the new way and passed that down to their children. The majority kept doing the same thing as the generations before. As we turn off the highway onto Exit Rebellion, we realize that the story is not just about pork. Side note though, like do your fucking research on pork. Yikes. Anyway, the story is about conditioning. There are so many automatic things that are a result of conditioning. When we really think about it, everything is, down to being toilet trained, using silverware, speaking. We have learned from our caretakers many valuable conditioned responses, but there are many that, well, they're just not very valuable. Perhaps the way a family member or family members handle conflict, unable to look at the dirt on their own side of the street, unable to take accountability, modeling ego and righteousness to upcoming generations, bullying one another because their feelings were not validated about their pork roast. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. You see, the curious ones start to notice patterns all around them, including in their own families. They start to question and start to stand up for what they see needs to be changed. For some, the doors have to be closed because their family might play nice for a bit, but one day the curious one will cook pork a different way and they know their family will pounce. The curious one even starts to look at the other conditioning around them. How did we get here? How is any of this okay? They start off with small acts of rebellion, healing their generational traumas, healing their own automatic responses, seeing more and more of what needs to be released in their own inheritance, their bloodlines. This rebellion, it attracts other like-minded people, and the future generations start to change. Rebellion comes in all forms, micro, macro. Rebellion and curiosity mixed with a strong moral compass. It's unstoppable. Gosh, as we head back on to Route 52, the sun is shining. We pull over. We allow the sun to shine on our third eye. We take a deep breath in. And we say, I'm not the scars of my family. I'm not the scars of my country. I am the ointment, and I'll pass down that recipe. A reading from the Osho deck. First card, ordinariness. There is so much going on right now that if we get swept away into the chaos of it, I mean, you can feel your nervous system getting activated. It is so important for us to really take care of ourselves right now. And a lot of this is going to be, for many people listening, learning new ways of taking care of ourselves, because perhaps maybe you didn't have a family member or an immediate caretaker that spoke this language or speaks this language. So it's really leaning in to the mind, body, belief system practices that align your meridian system, that keep your aura free flowing without the sticky stuff attached to it. And really just lean in to the ordinary, beautiful things that we get to do every day here. That is an act of rebellion in itself, is to continue to find joy, continue to do the things. I'm going to be a bird watcher. I just recently decided. I'm excited to find all the birds in like northern United States, or I'm not even quite sure how it even works now. I'm going to learn this whole new way of living with binoculars. The ordinary things. When I talked earlier about slowing down and seeing the subtle, changes on Goose Beach, like I wouldn't have been able to even notice that if I wouldn't have been so aware each season of, exactly the way that the beach is, exactly the formation of this rock and this rock. So it's really slowing down and looking at all of the beauty here. And then the second card, letting go. It is time to let go of the harm, the traumas, the conditioning that many of us, I'm going to just say all of us, we all have some conditioning that we need to let go. Like, I think that's part of this earth experience. Like, I don't think we get out of that. My cat is not upset, by the way. He's elder and he meows a lot recently. So no worries. He's just fine. But letting go, of all of the things that don't serve us. And if you have to shut the door on certain family members, that's not necessarily like an act of like being mean. It's like sometimes our family members are not safe. Sometimes their trauma shows up in ways that you just know, that they might be chill for a minute. They might be down for a second. They might support you for a short period of time. And then they're going to turn on you because they don't know how to keep their energy balanced. They don't know how to handle conflict. They don't know how to handle somebody having a difference of opinion. They don't know how to handle their own insecurities, and they project them all out onto everyone else around them. They don't know how to walk away from unproductive conflict. So this is a lot of letting go. If you're listening to this and you're feeling like your world got really small and like, a lot of you don't hang out with a lot of the same people that you used to, this is part of the journey, is to keep being true to yourself, is keep healing yourself. And then you will attract people that can love you the way that you love yourself. The old version of you is attracting people that loved you the way that you loved yourself. And I don't think you were probably loving yourself very good. So you were attracting those kind of people. So there is a transition period, is to be patient and to keep showing up, with as much love as you possibly can. And this is not about ego. This is about a revolution. Is when we expect to be respected and we respect ourselves, we hang out with different people. We ripple out how we treat ourselves to others. The last card, innocence. There is so many beautifully innocent beings all around us. This is going way off. This is going off the deep end. I like to live there, by the way. Not down the rabbit holes, but off the deep end a little bit. But I saw this guy talking about air. And he was saying, like if we hold our breath for a certain amount of time, right? Eventually we lose consciousness. We lose consciousness. So then is the air around us living, breathing consciousness? Anyway, I don't know. I thought that was pretty fucking amazing. So there's all of this. There's all of this live around us at all times. These little meowing right now. I have one meowing little consciousness right next to me. But they're everywhere. There's so much to explore and so much to see, amongst the chaos. Is remember If we're calm and centered and grounded and we're observing the chaos, we will not get swept into it. So, again, take a deep breath. Remember, I'm not the scars of my family. I am not the scars of my country. I'm the ointment, and I will pass down that recipe. Happy cooking. See you fucking next time.